Welcome one, welcome all. Season 6 is finally upon us, and we've got a ridiculous amount of patch notes, things to discuss over the next couple of weeks, well, and days as well. Things we're going to break down today, however, crossplay and progression, the new Assault map, role queue, ranked updates, and stuff to do with the lore as well. It's going to be a very action-packed show. There's still other shows to come as well, which we'll get into more detail shortly on. And to do that, I've got 3 lovely gentlemen on the couch, 2 returning men that we've seen many, many times recently, Richard and AJ. And over in the corner is Hi-Rez. Welcome back.
Hello.
The Messiah of Paladins has arrived back to SMITE.
I'm back. And the whole set's changed since the last time I was here, like a year and a half ago.
It's nice, right?
I like
it.
It's nice. You had hair back then, too.
Oh, I did not. I haven't had hair for a while.
Chris, update people what exactly it is you do at the company now. You've had a bit of a change in position, correct?
Yeah, so I was executive producer for SMITE for a while, up until the beginning of last year, and then I moved over to Paladins to help them out with some challenges. And now I'm back, kind of over all the game teams at this point.
Okay.
So Realm Royale, SMITE, Paladins, and then an unnamed other project that we're working on. So I'm kind of keeping track of all the different teams now.
Okay, so you're like big boy now above everything.
General manager.
Does that mean you get the blame for everything, or do you get the credit for everything?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully the credit. I don't like the blame.
Yeah. You get both.
That's fair. Leave that to the individual teams for the blame,
anything
right?
I've learned about leadership is you get both.
Yeah.
You always
Pretty much I get blamed,
always
yeah.
get.
Well, first thing to discuss real quick on the show is going to be some of the hot button known issues and status of those things. We had a couple of hot fixes just recently over the course of the last couple of days, was it?
Yeah, we've been doing some really big stuff on the back end, like getting our databases and all of our technology ready for crossplay and cross progression.
Yeah.
And it's had some interesting side effects.
Okay.
So we've had a couple issues that we know have been talked about a lot, and we've been spending a lot of time to get those solved. And we actually released a bunch of hotfixes this week to finally get those out.
So just so you guys are aware at home, then these updates, we're just going to read them out real quick because we didn't really announce what we put into this. So on Wednesday, on the 9th, it takes me a minute to work out the date because you always do them backwards over here. It always confuses me.
No, we do it frontwards.
You do so well anyway, Handyman.
I try my best. Okay, so on the 9th, on Wednesday, we released an update which fixed some of the issues with Arthur's ult where target can become immune to damage. We also fixed an issue where Arthur's twin cleave costed 60 mana from level 1, and we fixed incorrect card art shown for Tier Wing Justice and Merlin skin. Interesting.
Right, those events had temp art, and now you can see what those actual skins will look like.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Looks much better, trust me.
Including the unlimited Merlin skin.
Right.
So you
Then
can see
on
that now.
Thursday, we fixed the Steam users unable to invite were not able to connect through Steam friends.
Party issues.
Right. That's what I should have read it
Big
as. Okay.
hotfix to party issues.
I got the complex jargon on this sheet is what I got in Steam to say just like, hey, we fixed the party problem.
So not only are we getting ready to merge, between Xbox and PC, but also and Nintendo Switch, we also have Steam.
That's right.
Support getting added to a lot of things right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then also on Thursday, we also fixed an issue for the mute not working for VGS and map pings.
Fixed the issue where you could not mute your teammates or opponents on their map pings and taunts and VGS. We fixed that.
We also did a fix for the trade request pop-up not showing for draft pick and assault.
And customs.
Which
big
is
fix.
Some clan fixes as well, which were fixed an issue where inviting anyone to a clan showed that the player has not found, even when online.
Mm-hmm.
Also fixed an issue where newly created live accounts that join a clan could not be promoted, demoted, kicked, or banned. And we also fixed an issue where players could rejoin a clan after being banned. That's pretty dope.
Yep.
And none of these issues were really code issues per se. It all generated from the Fusion integration that we did
Gotcha.
for all the databases.
Right.
And
So-
we found some holes that we had that just didn't support that. It basically how we combined IDs and all this other thing to
Right.
make sure that nothing collided when we put all the data together. That had some side effects that were very hard to reproduce.
Yes.
Internally, we couldn't even reproduce them, but we were able to figure it out based on some live data.
If you're returning to SMITE, there's 3 big things that's happening for SMITE, and Chris is talking about Project Fusion. And Project Fusion is our implementation, of course, SMITE on Switch. So SMITE will be the only game of its kind on 4 platforms now, including SMITE on Switch. And then the other 2 things are cross-play and cross-progression. And, you know, really we're one of the few, if not the only studio taking an existing product of this magnitude
Right.
Yep.
and making it cross-play and cross-progression.
Yeah. Right.
So Project Fusion is our way to make sure
Yeah, I don't
all
think we've
that
said that
happens.
publicly yet. The
Yeah,
Project
yeah.
Fusion.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it's
Good name.
oh my goodness, you know, so this is my, you know, it's technically second MOBA that I've worked on and I consulted on a few of them. No other game of this type has ever done something like this. I learned a lot. We learned a lot in doing so. And there's inevitable issues that we have to work through in there. And there still will be some here and there, but we're really proud about getting it into this stage and really excited about seeing SMITE grow. With
Especially
this.
with the age
Yeah.
of the game too. I mean, this is season 6 we're talking about here.
Yeah, the game is only getting better
Still going
every
strong.
single
Still going
season. It's
strong.
Big
exciting.
improvements,
Yeah.
and you know, these big changes, these big fixes. Thank you to the community for keeping us helped and informed. This issue, we could only actually reproduce these in live.
Yeah.
100% of the stuff worked in the studio in every possible way.
And in
We had-
PTS, by the way.
Yeah, and in PTS, in every environment. So we had to have live, so we couldn't have done it without the community giving us the details.
Shout outs to the community. Next thing then to go through is when's this PTS going to be up, boys?
All right.
Because that's
So
the first thing everyone wants to know.
This is what this show, today's show, Monday show, is really about. We got to give the whole context for the whole season 1 updates.
Yeah.
Because we're splitting things up into a couple different shows. We think this is going to work out really well. Instead of me and Hinduman standing for 3 hours, sweating profusely, 3 or 4 maybe.
Remember Valentia.
I mean, I remember, and I don't want to do that again.
I actually thought about that when we were doing this patch show, and I heard it was going to be like a couple of shows we do. And I was like, that's unusual. I wonder why they're doing that. And then I did a flashback to Valencia and went, that's why they're doing it.
So, although there's lots of things you're excited for in season 6 and you want to hear these things right away, we got to do things in an order that makes a little sense. So today is the overview order.
Yeah.
So first thing we're going to talk about is the schedule. So we're talking about season 6 right now, and we're going to talk about a lot of things today that pertain to the game and core gameplay directly. Then tomorrow, we're going to talk about balance. Tomorrow's going to be the balance show. All of the balance changes for gods and items and main game modes, mostly conquest changes, the new conquest features, objectives, that'll all be tomorrow. Then we'll have a third show on Wednesday, which will be design Q&A. So me, Pon, and Clumsy, who have been working on all this balance stuff and season 6 stuff, we're going to be on a live stream, answering questions, clarification, looking for feedback on the pitch. So really what we're going to do is going to take a whole week. We really have to spend a little bit more time on some of our back-end Project Fusion stuff. So PTS for 6.1's not going to go up until next week.
Okay.
Most likely, I think Tuesday is what we're planning on.
Aiming for Tuesday next week.
So we're going to do a discussion week. So you're going to all have the changes tomorrow.
Right.
We're going to talk about them. We're going to go to the pro feedback Discord. We're going to do the community Q&A. We're going to look on our forums and Reddit and Twitter. We're going to make some sticky posts there where everyone can share the things they like, they don't like about the patch notes. And we can take this whole week to talk about things we like and don't like and make changes to balance changes before we even get to PTS.
So tomorrow, we're going to be discussing things to do with everything that's going on in season 6. Wednesday, you're going to get a chance to voice your opinions with you guys.
More
and ask
interactive,
questions.
more of a conversation with the community.
Maybe we need to clarify a change, be a little more specific. We'll go into more details. Maybe people want to suggest something that we missed or something to solve a similar problem, but in a different way. And we'll be open to making changes, and we'll have this week to discuss with the community. You know, we always take a little extra time when we do a new season. And this year is no different. We have even bigger things than we normally have.
And let's reveal maybe a little bit more about Merlin on Wednesday. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a big thing on Wednesday. We'll talk about how Merlin's stance changing works.
Yeah.
So we're not going to talk entirely about him till a little later, but on Wednesday, we'll tell you how that's going to work.
I was just getting up to that because there's going to be these 3 shows this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
And then there's going to be one more show.
Okay, yeah,
In
one
the
more show.
future-
So the 4th show.
The fourth show, which isn't going to be this week, I'll give you the dates when I have it, but that will be everything to do with any new skin content that's coming out for the game,
Right.
along with Merlin, and a chance for people to like have some of that feedback spoken about if there's any changes that happen,
Right.
based off the information we put out. Is that how it's going to happen?
That is how it's going to happen. So
Perfect.
quick recap.
4 shows.
3-day shows this week
Yep.
and discussion period. We're going to look into our changes. We're going to figure out what we like, what we don't like. Next week, the 4th show, which will be the final 6-1 show, where we show off skins that are going to be in the patch and show off any balance changes we made during the discussion period, and reveal Merlin's entire kit as he's going to be a 6-1 launched god. So it's a big show next week, and then we'll go right into PTS after that show. We can all start playtesting Season 6 right away, and then we'll have another week or so to get feedback in based on PTS before launch.
So PTS is going to be able for about a week, is what you're saying there, for feedback and stuff?
I
Is that
think it's
kind of-
actually, do we have a Season 4? Is that something we're going into on here? Is the season, I don't know why I said
I think it's
on
actually going to be more
Season
like
6.
2 weeks.
Yeah, PTS will be almost 2 weeks.
Right, okay.
Before Season 6 launch.
Okay.
So we're taking our time here, making sure everything goes smoothly.
Cool. So we're going to be taking regular updates from the community as well as changing things throughout. Okay. We can move on then to, we've already talked about why we're making this schedule.
Did I cover everything? Yeah.
I think so.
Season 6, I know that was a long one.
You did.
Thanks,
Yeah, I mean,
guys.
there's a lot of things going
We
on.
always take some extra time, but then we're taking a little bit more, not just for balance feedback, which that's a big part of this extra time, but we're also a little bit even more for that cross-play, cross-progression.
That's right. That's right.
So with that then, we're looking through things, and obviously some of this is to do with the cross progression as well, right? It's like it's going to take a little bit more time to make sure everything's working out with the cross-play too.
Right. And also, since we're taking this time, this is a really important time for our internal development schedule, right? So these times when we take a little longer cycle, this allows us to kind of reset and make changes in a way. We have some really big change going forward that took extra time for us, the way our development worked and our pipeline. We had to kind of take this time to make things work out. And that is a very exciting announcement, which is next year, we plan to ship...
This year,
sorry. It's already January. This year, season 6.
Next
Next season, we plan to launch every patch simultaneously on all platforms on the same day.
Plan.
Plan.
For the record,
Yes.
plan.
We plan to.
Why do we have to say the word plan there, just so people at home understand why?
Oh, that's a great question. And the reason being is because there's a lot of times things that are out of our hands. So we always want to do that.
Right.
But because of certain reasons, because of how some issues may be only on a specific platform, we have to go with the flow at times.
Okay.
It's almost like you're running a TV show sometimes where anything could happen and we have to go with the flow.
live show.
A live show.
We
Like,
never do those.
Like,
I don't know why-
like right now?
like right now. So no, our plan is for next season,
Yeah.
patch everything at the same time, and if it doesn't happen, just let you know it's not because we don't want to. It's
Right.
because there's
We'll be as transparent as
there's an
possible about why.
exactly. There's an isolated issue, or because certification with either Sony or Microsoft or let's say Nintendo
Right. That's
pushes
a new
us
system
to
we're
new
learning
time.
right now. We're
That's
still
right.
learning that.
the
As a
other
studio.
thing that we're doing next year, starting with season 1, is basically having all of our development focus in on what we call mega patches, right?
Right.
And to the community, you won't see that as much. It's more of an internal thing. But 6.1 and 6.2 will both be done content-wise during 6.1.
Okay.
Now that gives us extra time. So instead of having to patch 24 times a year, we're slowing that down so that for our content schedule, so that we have 12 major patches that we have to branch from development from. This gives us extra time for testing, for cert requirements for other platforms, but also to get feedback so that we can get changes out in the field faster, because we're not dealing with so many of these like, hey, we just released this patch, but we're branching for this other patch almost at the same time.
Sure.
This is going to give us a lot more time to focus on bugs and focus on things to make sure that they're good before they have to be released.
We
to the
essentially have
community.
lockout windows now where we can't make changes.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
things are having to be still being certified. So by changing that schedule, that reduces the amount of lockout
Yep.
we have.
Yep.
Is this you guys saying that we're going to have like one patch note show a month then?
No, we'll still have
No,
patch-
it's same.
No, we're still going to the community, we're still going to have every 2 weeks we're going to be patching.
Okay.
That's right.
But behind the scenes, for us in development, it's going to be really 12 times a year versus 24 times a year.
Right.
But
So
we'll still have 2 patch notes a month. We're still going to probably have a patch like that what we would call a mid-cycle
Mid-season,
patch.
Yep.
Could still be bug fixes and things like that. But it's really the development team that has to manage all of these different branches. It's going to be a much more simplified process, which will up quality,
Gotcha.
hopefully a lot.
So in a weird way, like we get 2 patches a month, like we always have. So
Yes.
Always, yeah.
2 patches a month, like we always have, but one's gonna be more focused on the meat of the game, and the other's gonna be behind the scenes sort of bug
That's
fixes
right.
and things.
That's a
That's
good
right.
way to put it.
Yeah,
I
okay,
think.
cool. So that
Yep.
makes a lot of sense.
So more
Yes.
quality of life stuff
Yeah.
we're going to
Yep.
focus on.
Feels like
using
a
that
more
new
focus
patch.
towards
But
that.
to you, it won't feel any different. But
Yes.
to you, from
Except
a patch
hopefully
cycle,
less bugs, higher quality releases. That stuff the community will probably pick on over time.
indeed, yeah.
Well then, I guess we move it on to the next bit I've got down here, which is to do with the Switch launch patch, which is going to be
Oh, yeah.
5.25.
Yeah, so since we're taking this extra time
Yeah.
towards 6.1 launch, we're gonna do one more patch actually, and kind of move this in between.
Right.
We're gonna do a 5.25 update. It's gonna
Okay.
be mostly for the Nintendo Switch launch patch.
Right.
That's the software that'll be running on the Switches, and we'll also use that time to update some bugs and some other things for the other platforms.
Okay. And with that, with the launch of that, we're going to have a new skin that's going to be available.
You're
There
talking
will
about
be.
for the Switch skin? Or,
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
the Vaporwave.
Vaporwave Poseidon.
One new skin that'll be in this patch,
Look
this
how
little mini
good that
patch.
looks.
Hoverboard Poseidon.
He's
Yeah,
on a hoverboard.
He looks amazing.
When do we get to see that in more detail? Like in game?
We'll see that on the 6.1 fourth show when we go over all the skins and content in game. We'll see more about him. Actually, maybe he'll be even launched by then. I don't know. We'll have to look at it.
Wait, what? Is that the Kraken?
That's his Kraken.
His Kraken's a big
Is a-
T-Rex with
It's
sunglasses.
a laser T-Rex with
I
sunglasses.
don't even think I've seen that
That's
before.
his
That's
Kraken.
amazing.
He bursts out. He puts the sunglasses on. And gives you a little point.
And that's
like-
available on. That's gonna be available on all platforms.
That'll be available
or-
on all platforms
Okay.
in 5.25, which will launch sometime in between now and 6.1.
I hope his
right.
name is Hi-Rez.
He doesn't.
You can
have a
call the
name, but
Rex
that could be
anything
his
you
name.
want.
He's now called
Yeah.
Hi-Rex.
Vaporwave Poseidon, and that skin is the one that's voiced by Jason David Frank, the voice of the Green Ranger.
Tina was on
Or the actor who plays the
Yes,
Green
that's
Ranger.
right.
Oh
The
yeah,
Green
Tina was
Ranger.
so excited
He
about
voiced
that.
this skin,
Yeah.
and he knocked it out of the park. He's amazing.
He was really fun to work with. And Tina was so excited. She was like messaging everyone, the Kraken's got to beat a T-Rex with sunglasses and lasers popping out.
No, yeah, we were on the fence about this skin idea as a whole until Tina pitched that, and everyone was like, "Yes,
That's
do
the
it."
skin. That's the magic of the skin.
So Switch
Yeah.
will be 5.25, and then that's when the
right.
Poseidon skin will come out, and then we'll move on to 6.1 on Switch, and everyone will be together.
So I think we
So
covered
s-
all the 6.1.
That's right. You mind if I jump on Switch stuff, or you
Go
want to
for
save
it.
that?
Go for the
So
stuff
the
with Switch.
Switch is going to be released on closed beta.
Right.
You can access by getting the Switch Founders Pack, and
Yep.
that has a lot of exclusive content. Some of the most exciting pieces is the limited skin, which is the Dragon Empress Scylla skin.
Oh, cool. So
which-
like how PlayStation and Xbox got their skins with them.
Something similar. Yeah, something
Yeah,
similar.
yeah.
So for the Dragon Empress Scylla skin, you can only get that through the Founders Pack.
Oh.
So that's one and done. So if you want to get the Dragon Empress Scylla skin, you can grab the Founders Pack and support us while we get the fourth platform ready for SMITE. Also, there's a whole bunch of other content. You'll get the Ultimate God Pack. You'll get some gems. There's the Dashing Deceiver Loki skin. And if you buy before closed beta starts around the 24th, you will get 2 extra pieces of content, an extra Foxy Amaterasu skin, and also some extra gems. So, definitely support us, grab the Founders Pack,
Yeah.
and get that limited skin and all the other content.
I guess on the subject of the Switch, then I guess we need to start talking about crossplay because crossplay is coming.
Right, and Nintendo Switch will launch with crossplay.
Right. It'll be the basic crossplay though.
Okay.
Like Paladins has right now. So Paladins released on SMITE and it had basic crossplay, which meant basically that matchmaking would look across Switch and Xbox for players.
Okay.
And that's how our 5.25 will launch. But it won't have the additional features like, hey, my wife plays on Switch and I play on PC. We want to party together, or Xbox and Switch, or whatever it happened to
Okay.
be. So that won't be available in 5.25, but it will be coming in 6.1.
So we're doing it in bits just to
Yeah,
stagger it a
that's
little bit
right.
and make sure
In
things
that
are working
particular
first,
case,
right?
it'll be done in 2 phases.
Yeah.
So Switch and Xbox play together to
Yep.
start off with, and then eventually PC will be added
Yep.
to the mix. Is that how
Right.
Xbox will have the option to opt out of that because that's a platform requirement for
Okay.
Xbox.
Okay.
So, but by default, everyone will be playing together.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's crossplay that's going to be going on. The cross progression is the next thing on the list because, like I want to play on Switch, but I also have my PC account.
This
and I
is
don't
a
want
big
two
one.
accounts.
This
Yeah,
is a big
this is
one.
pretty big.
And this is one that's taking a lot of technological effort behind the scenes
That's
to get
right.
working. But yes, we plan on having a system called cross progression, which that's what we're calling it now. you'll be able to link your accounts.
Okay.
We're going to release a lot more specific details on this as we get closer to launch. Same with crossplay. So keep an eye out for those as we update the FAQs and give you guys some directions on how this works.
Right.
But you'll be able to have choose a game account as your master account, link those all together, and then it'll merge everything together. So you can have your skins, even your worshipers earned from another platform, all mixed together when you log in on PC, even if you earned all those things on Xbox,
All
and
on
vice
one
versa.
A couple caveats.
A couple caveats.
That's
like I
couple
said.
caveats.
There'll
Number
be some more
one,
specifics as we go forward.
You don't pick what your master account is. It's done automatically. So let's pretend I played on PC. I'm level 5.
Yep.
I've got a Xbox account. I'm like level 100 or whatever happens to me. And then I have a PS4 account or whatever, and that's on its own.
Yeah.
When we merge, we're going to look at the records that we're merging. And the master account will be chosen based on your level, your player level.
Okay.
So the reason for that is it's really super difficult to merge and aggregate all of the achievements and your progression and having different places that you're at on all your different accounts. So your master record will be where your achievements live.
Oh, okay.
And that's when everything gets merged in, the final result will be, for achievement-wise, it will be whatever is chosen as the master account.
Okay.
And then all of your inventory and all of your currencies are done just aggregated together.
Okay, so your achievements that you've done on your master account, the one you play on the most,
Yep.
we'll keep all the achievements there.
That's right.
Your other accounts, you're not going to keep those achievements, unfortunately, because of this.
No.
But you will keep any gems and any skins that you've purchased on those accounts as well.
That's
as
correct.
platforms allow.
Right.
As
Right.
Now,
platforms allow.
there's also platform achievements like Xbox achievements. Those things, or Steam achievements,
Yeah,
those
that's
things
right.
are not touched. So no matter what happens, where's your master account
You keep
ends up,
those.
your overall system achievements or platform achievements aren't touched. It'll just be your in-game, maintained achievements.
There's
Okay.
a lot of specific details that go into this,
Sure.
which is why
Yep.
we don't want to go into every little detail, and we know there'll be a lot of questions, so that's why we're going to make sure the community is involvement is there, and the FAQ posts and stuff we
That's
update.
right.
To make
Honestly,
sure
that clears a lot up already of how these interactions are going to work with
Yep.
merging the accounts together.
Right.
The only real loss could be your level 8, 12 account that you play on Xbox every now and again. You're not going to get the achievements you've got.
But most likely you've achieved all those things, and also
on your other
unless you play
accounts, that's
very
right.
one specific god, it's going to handle 99%
But hey,
of the cases.
keeping your skins, keeping your gems, that's important.
merging
Yep.
and your worshipers, that's exciting too.
worshipers,
So
yeah.
Worshippers, all of that.
Okay, so that's a little bit about cross progression. Is there anything else we need to mention about cross progression?
Obviously, once progression, after we do the linking and the merging, which is kind of done one time after you link and you log in for the first time, then it's just like all the other games that offer cross progression, meaning that if I progress 3 levels on my battle pass, if I go to the Xbox, I'm going to see that progression that I did on the PC. So it's going to be awesome once all this stuff gets done.
you buy a skin,
behind
you've
the
got it
scenes.
automatically on all of yours. If you rank a god up to diamond, you've got it automatically on all of yours. Those types of
That's
things.
That's right.
Yeah.
One other question about cross progression. It's not on here, and I just thought of this now, and I don't want to try and put you on the spot a little bit, but there's the stuff to do with the Switch and that going into beta right now, as well as the cross progression. How's that going to work with purchasing the bundle to play on the Switch, and then how the cross progression work?
You mean like the Ultimate God Pack?
Yeah,
you buy
yeah,
the Founders
sorry, yeah.
Pack? Yeah, so if you buy the Ultimate God Pack on the Switch, you'll be able to play it on any other platform.
Right.
Gotcha.
If you
grab
buy
it,
the Switch
use it.
Founders Pack, you'll get that. You'll get those skins available to your other accounts as well.
That's
once
right.
we get to cross progression.
So because
those are not at the same time.
So the limited Dragon and Priscilla, if you
Right.
buy it on the Switch, you can play it on any other platform.
So because
in fact,
Switch-
that's the only way you can get that skin.
Because Switch is in beta right now, you have to purchase the God Pack, and then you can play with your other accounts. Is that correct?
the God Pack is part of the
depends.
Founders
Yeah,
Pack.
that's
and
part
there's
of the
not
Founders Pack.
another option.
That's right.
So
Okay,
you
that's
will have possibly
Now-
purchased it already on another account, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that we're
guess.
still
Is that
working
the
on is
question
the
you're asking?
Switch account linking. Because right now, if you're playing in Paladins, there's no option to link your Switch account with your Hi-Rez account right now.
Okay.
That's something that we plan on having hopefully by 6.1.
Right.
But that's one of the areas that we're still working with Nintendo to make sure we can do that. So in the case of 6.1, if we don't have this Nintendo account linking up yet, your Switch account's just going to be on this little island.
Okay.
But as soon as we get a linking, when you link, it'll do the merge then.
Right.
Cool.
So if you have 5 or 6 different accounts, 6.1 will probably take care of all the ones except for Switch.
Right.
And then Switch, once we get the account linking in, it'll get merged in just like all of the other ones.
Sorry to put you on the spot. That was just me being a gamer where I'm like, hang on a second. Well, how's that going to work with the Switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We've thought through all that stuff. We just haven't announced it all yet.
I'm glad you had an answer and you didn't sit there and go, we don't know. Otherwise, I'd have been like, oof.
No. Yeah.
So that's cross progression, but then we've got to work a little bit, I guess, towards cross play, right? Like cross play spoke a little bit about it.
And as we are saying with cross progression too, there's a lot of things we're still working on right now. There's a lot of things that might change.
Right.
There's a lot of things we don't know all the details about the specific settings and things like that, but we do know we're gonna have cross play. We want more people in SMITE to be able to play together.
Yeah.
We want people to invite their friends and invite people to parties across platforms to play games together.
So when 6.1 releases, we will have true crossplay for the first time. Even the Switch, Xbox crossplay. That's kind of what I would call crossplay light. This will be true crossplay, meaning that you can invite your wife, who happens to be on another platform, to a party. You guys will be able to talk to one another through. We have a third-party solution called VBox. We're implementing VBox on all of the platforms, and it should be implemented by the time 6.1 is released. So it'll be both cross-party and cross-play.
And just to know that with ranked modes, we plan on keeping those platform specific.
Oh, okay.
So for ranked modes, we want to preserve the level of competition for now, while we look and see how the whole cross-play ecosystem levels out between skill levels. We
If
have a
there's
lot
one platform
of
doing
data
better or
to
something.
collect there, right?
Yeah.
I
So
understand
yeah, going forward, if you ranked will always be your option to play with only players more on your control scheme.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm checking through the crossplay. We've already talked about worship as an
We
experience.
did talk about that. Yep.
being calculated with a merge, so we can move on from past that.
Yep.
We've already mentioned how do you make sure all your accounts are linked? Well, I guess we're going to go into
There
more
will be a
detail about that later.
website version for that where you can log into your Hi-Rez Studios website and see all of your accounts and your platforms and make sure they're linked, and you'll see the options.
I will
there.
prompt people to do that as soon as it's available
Yep.
to be done, right?
Now, there'll be actually 3 ways.
Oh,
The one way is the website.
yep.
The second way is if you log in for the first time after we introduce linking, you will be prompted in the UI if you would like to link. And that's stuff that we're still working out with all the different game teams.
Right.
And then the third way is you can go to your settings and it'll say if you're linked or not. And it will have a button that will let you go to a website, or will also maybe have a QR code where you can just point your phone to the settings screen and it will bring you to the website so that you can link. So there'll be a couple different ways. Hopefully they'll be fairly intuitive.
Okay.
Yep.
That sounds really good.
Yep.
So I'm just reading through this because we've talked through all this without doing it in order now, where I'm like, okay, if I link my account across cross
we went a little out of
We're making
order.
Hindu Man's job
merge.
harder is what he's trying to tell us.
No, it's just about Chris is really good at doing this all the time. He just comes on and goes, here's all the info. And I'm like, oh, where are I?
We got a little ahead of ourselves on Nintendo Switch.
We did.
Did we cover everything about Nintendo Switch?
So we've already mentioned about when SMITE will be available on Nintendo Switch, which
beta,
is looking
January
at January
24th.
24th, correct?
That's the 525 update. Crossplay with Xbox available at that time. Get the Founders Pack.
Oh, guess what? We get to do some new stuff now because these guys have talked through everything already. It should be time for Mr. Hi-Rez Finch and his boys to go over stuff to do with the new assault map. Are you ready, Finch? I hope so. Let's find out.
You surprised them.
Maybe.
Dun, dun,
We're too
almost
fast.
ready.
No, Finch is in the
you ready?
bathroom.
They were like, they still got to talk about
doing
Nintendo
it.
Switch for all this time.
Yeah, I know, but we're not. Like, we've gone through it all. We've already mentioned the Founders Pack stuff. You jumped in early, too.
I jumped
It's
in
on you as
early.
well.
Sorry,
Don't
Hindu
just sit
man.
there like you're so desperate to get this
man.
information.
Oh,
Poor
man.
Finch isn't
Get
ready for this shit.
chastised by Hindu man.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
It's a lot of stuff. I'm excited for all of these things. Like, this is going to be a big week. I love how we're doing the setup with the season 6 with the discussion and the community feedback and the PTS phase. I think it's going to get us some of the best discussion we've ever had as far as gameplay goes. Really excited about this whole system.
So
Yeah.
we're waiting for Finch at the moment with the assault team because they weren't really ready to go through that as quick as we thought they would be. I've got one question about the cross progression stuff, and it's probably going to be one that you guys don't want to answer as much.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just going to put it out there because I want to know myself. If I've got an Xbox and I've got this skin, say for example, Tear Puppeteer, right?
Okay.
But I've also got it on PC. What happens to just merge and it's fine?
You just have that skin.
Yeah,
You just
Okay.
have
Nothing
one
extra.
copy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure that's what
A
happened.
better question is,
I think people are going to want to know, though, do we get a refund or something on like that skin purchase? And I'm pretty sure the answer is no, right?
The answer is
Suck
no.
it up.
Correct.
Yeah? Okay.
that would be a nightmare.
No, I know. I just had a feeling there will be people out there that'll ask that question.
Yes,
And,
that's a good question.
It's a good one to go over.
Another good question would be, what if I have an exclusive skin that's only available on a certain platform? The way that I believe it works, now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is you can use that skin if you're playing on let's say it's an Xbox exclusive skin.
Right.
You can equip that skin if you're playing on Xbox. If you're playing on PC, you'll see that you own that skin, but you cannot equip it on the PC
because you're playing on
on the PC.
That's
And this
cool. I
might
like that.
change from skin to skin. There might be different rules around certain
Right.
skins.
That's right. He's talking about skins that might have a specific logo, like the
Right. Yeah.
Microsoft Amaterasu skin, for example.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
stuff
right.
like that.
It's always
So
well because like
they're going to be very one-off, very niche skins, but there will be cases where you might only be able to equip them on a platform that you acquired the skin on.
But you still might be able to play that Xbox skin versus PC players by just playing on your Xbox and partying up with some PC players.
That's right.
And queuing
The
into
PC
crossplay.
players will see that you have the Xbox skin on, but
yeah.
it's wild.
Our goal is the
it's
most
a new wild world for sure.
our goal is the most player-friendly solution, which is
Sure.
you have your inventory, you get to try it out, you get to play it there.
Yeah.
But of course, we have partners that have specific policies, so we have to respect them too. But
That's right.
ultimately, our goal, whatever is most player-friendly to you, whichever you get the most out of your inventory.
Yep.
We like that method.
That's right.
So we'll keep pushing for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we've done enough stalling on the couch, and I've been asking enough awkward questions right now. So the boys are standing by to break down a little bit about the assault map changes and what you might see in terms of the artwork, I guess. Let's head over to them now. But first of all, here's the Switch again. Oh, what a great look at the assault map there. Yeah, it was really interesting listening to Austin and Hi-Rez Fish about everything that went into the changes on that. As you can tell, the mute button seems to be broken over there. We'll be getting that fixed for you and hopefully coming back to you soon. But in the meantime, we have replaced Chris Larson with a fabulous man that you may have known for giving you some of the best and greatest sales SMITE has ever seen. It's Gabe! How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? Good to be here. What's up?
So, Gabe, you're here, and obviously Richard and AJ staying with us as well, because the next part of the show we're going to talk through
Technical
is the
difficulties.
SMITE law. Well, no, we can just move on with the rest of the show. You
We
guys
have
just-
more stuff to talk about. That
We'll
is
come
for
back
sure.
to that.
Yeah, no,
Always
we
talk
definitely
about
have.
more
So
SMITE
we
stuff.
we definitely teed up lore, and man, can we show the video, or do you want to wait for that?
I
made you go
think-
too fast last time.
If the production can let me know if we can ready for the video, because there should be a video now.
Okay.
Cool. Production's great. Let's have a little look at the King Arthur and Merlin video. I said Merlin! I wasn't lying!
So good. Goosebumps every time, man. Every time I've seen it since the initial pitches that were just.
That's
pieces
right.
of
That's a few
sketch
months in the
paper.
making, and the team did an amazing
So
job with that
good.
video.
So the section we're up to now is really going over the lore for season 6 and how
right.
we even, in the first place, got to having King Arthur and Merlin fighting on the battleground of the gods, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
we'll get there.
So start off with Odyssey 2018. How does the lore end up fitting into Smite, first of all? Like, what we've seen a lot of jumps in Smite, because originally it was like, hey, it's based on gods. Yeah, like, cool, we know these gods, but now we're actually going deeper into the lore of Smite and actually making a lore story of why all these gods are interacting.
Really, it's about making the whole game a more cohesive experience, bringing everything together, making it all make sense, and giving it extra weight and meaning behind it. For a long time in Smite, we just made characters we thought we were cool and levels that we thought were balanced and things like that.
Yeah.
To make the game fun. And there was some lore, and there was some of it was history, and some of it was just in the god pages and things like that. But it felt like something just extra.
That's right.
It didn't feel like it had a lot of meaning to it. And starting in season 5, we changed that.
Okay.
When we redesigned the Conquest map, when we were designing that map, like besides just making it look cool and making it play better, we were like, why is this map the way that it is? What happened to our world? And what is going to continue to happen to our world?
Yeah.
And we try to carry that on through the rest of the year, all through season 5 and now going into season 6. That's a big goal of ours. Something that Richard really pushed for to help the design team make our designs even better in ways that make the characters and the events of Smite meaningful to players.
Yeah. And if you're new to Smite, part of the lore of the battleground of the gods is that the gods live in this world
2,
where
3.
they're fighting for worshipers.
Right.
Gods are fueled by the adoration.
It's the only way to be a god.
By
right?
the mortals,
You need
that's
to have
right.
Worshippers, they
Yeah.
rely on the mortals and their praise of
Sure.
them. And some gods choose to steal worshippers through violence, and others choose to earn them by showing their good deeds and making the fields grow and making sure the humanity can live happily. But all different gods need worshippers to even be of a god status.
For season 7, thinking about it, I've got a really good idea for you. Okay?
No, okay, what is
So we're
this?
just gonna go
What is
completely
this?
off
What
the
is
rails
this?
real
What
quick.
is this, Hindu man?
Listen,
What is
AJ's
this
used to
story?
this, but what about this, right? For season 7, you steal worshippers from other people when they're playing their god. So like you can get rid of that.
I'm
like,
out of here, guys.
that 27-star Loki, you could make him be like a 2-star if you keep playing against him and beating him over and over again. No,
That could be a good D&D campaign. That'd be good. That'd be you and the rest of the gang.
So where I was saying,
back to,
What had happened
we
was
started with the beginning of season 5 was where we really kicked this up a notch
Yeah.
with the new Conquest map and the events of Ragnarok, which we had started with the comic books and some videos and things like that. And in season 5, we're like, Ragnarok is happening now. Our villainess, has officially made it happen through her magical means and taking down some other key gods. And that caused a great destabilization in the Smite world. We had fire raining down from the sky. We had the fire giant appearing from the realm Muspelheim here to destroy the earth. And we have the Hades, the god of death,
Ragnarok.
being massively powered up as more and more worshippers fall into his underworld. So he capitalizes on this event as Ragnarok to raise his kingdom up to the surface. And he's trying to build a new world is what he wants to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him like a traditional villain, where he's not just trying to kill everyone. What he's trying to do is end all suffering.
Right.
And in other ways, it's good to look at him like a misunderstood villain or misunderstood protagonist, depending on your
If
outlook.
life and death are one
Yeah.
and the same, then there is no death and there is no happiness, and
That's
everybody
right.
can live, or not. There is plenty of happiness, no sadness, and mortals don't even have to worry about the pain
That's
of
right.
losing each other.
It's the world I live in right now.
Yes, but the other gods had problems with that plan. The other gods had problems with that plan, and just so I don't end up like Gabe's hilarious video here, where we talk for 3 hours and then it's in place.
I mean, you're gonna need some
move
time
on.
to go over everything. I mean, how much time do we got? 3 hours?
But we
4
went
hours?
to the Divine Uprising, which is where we turned our focus to the gods. So first we started with the world, and then we went to the gods. And the Divine Uprising was really about giving more meaning to why new gods were showing up in Smite and what they were doing to the world when they appeared. Obviously, a completely new god showing up into this battle would have impacts. So Chernobog intimidating Bellona and kind of revealing some of her dark side to herself. Because although Bellona is often seen as a hero, she is violent and she is driven by war. So she's not all good, right?
No.
And then Bara and Samedi teaching her about death and the importance of crossing over, and kind of giving us more of a hint into that. Hades' ideal world is probably not going to work for a lot of our other gods. They won't like that. And then finally Pele, who was our, hero at the end of the Divine Uprising, finally able to remove this Ragnarok power from Hades and disperse it. However, although Hades was stopped for then, Ragnarok was not stopped. And we still had a lot more to go.
We did.
And that's where we got into the Odyssey and Hera. And Hera worked her way through all of her challenges and strifes and goals to really prove herself as a leader. And really, we kind of took, this is almost a little fourth wall breaking on Hera, but we wanted to take her from this perspective because she hadn't been in Smite for so long.
Yeah.
So it was almost like us nodding to the player base who were like, why is this really, really known character not doing
here?
anything?
Yeah.
And so the gods themselves were like, yeah, where have you been? We've been out here suffering and struggling and fighting for our
you've been
lives.
chilling the whole
and
time.
you've just been hiding out. So we wanted to make sure that the other gods viewed Hera with skepticism. They didn't just trust her to be great leader, this great queen. She had to prove herself. She had to go through this journey and win allies over bit by bit to really prove that she was worth following as a goddess.
Then after Hera's Odyssey, this is where we're up to now, which is the Legend of Camelot, right? With King Arthur and Merlin going to be villain. I'm still going to have to call him Arthur. I can't call him King Arthur. It's just weird.
Is that your king?
Well, technically he's my king, but my queen exists, so it's destabilizing for an English person, you know.
Whichever you prefer, that's okay. I understand if you're not allowed to say that. That's fine.
that clear.
And yeah, this is what I've been working on with Gabe really heavily. Gabe has been my lead producer, my project manager for getting the Smite team and a writer,
Sweet.
Ian, who we've introduced to y'all on the stream once or twice, and we met him at HRX this year.
Yes.
A very talented writer who's written a lot of Warhammer fantasy.
That's
as
right.
well
Black
as,
Library, Warhammer
as well as
series.
some other stuff. Who's been working with us. So Ian is our writer, and Gabe is my main point of contact. And so me, Gabe, and Ian are working together all the time to kind of describe out these outlines, get really excited about what's coming up, and then leave it to Ian to come up with the specific details.
So speaking a little bit about those details, and without going too specific, I guess would be the way. What is the outline going to be for King Arthur and Merlin? It's all to do with what exactly?
Well, we had two major goals. One was to give them some backstory to bridge the gap between their historical mythology and the world of Smite. And the other was to just hype them up as awesome characters, right? Because they're the pinnacle of fantasy, these two characters. And in working with Gabe and Ian, we kind of came up with this, it's a parallel timeline, really.
Okay.
So Arthur and Merlin have been in Camelot. They've been kind of isolated from the rest of the gods, but they've been going through the same events that they have. So when Ragnarok started and all of our gods were dealing with the conquest map changes and Hades' kingdom and defeating him through the Divine Uprising, Arthur and Merlin were fighting a different battle.
That's right.
Oh, really?
They were fighting to save Camelot. And Jormungand, the world serpent, actually chose to go to Camelot first. And you can read about this in the first chapter of the Arthurian event lore.
Okay.
Jorm goes there as the key part of Ragnarok and just wreaks havoc on Camelot, destabilizes the entire thing. And that's where Arthur's son, Mordred, sees an opening to take power for himself. And really what we saw in that trailer was that alternate timeline where Camelot is ruined and Mordred tries to seize power from Arthur. And then Arthur and Merlin are left in just the empty shadow of Camelot, trying to wonder what there is to do next. What will be their greater purpose in life if they've failed at this utopia they've created? And then that's when Hera reaches out to them.
That's right.
To show them that there is still more battles to be fought.
So Arthur had one job to protect his kingdom.
You had one job.
He had one job, and
bring out
to
some
him,
demons.
he has failed, right? So he is the dragon slayer. He is ultimately there to protect his kingdom, and now he's looking for that meaning. So in that video, you see him just, cooped up inside his castle, wondering what's the meaning of his life right now. He does not know who's left. There could be no one else in Camelot. He just doesn't know.
There could be no one else in the world after seeing how Jorm was so devastating.
That's right. He traversed the lands. He couldn't find anyone. And then Merlin is there as his, brother in arms, looking for another purpose. He's researching. So when you finally see that book, he's found some sort of connection, which is the connection to the Smite universe.
Did we get it all, Gabe?
Yeah.
Well, have they seen chapter 2 yet? Has chapter 2 come out?
Well, chapter 2, no.
Not yet.
No,
So-
not yet.
How many chances may we get, Gabe?
I mean,
May we get?
I don't know what
it's all
I could even
one
spoil it
storyline.
up.
Sure.
Right.
It's all one storyline, right? So we
Yeah,
split it into chapters, but we're going to continue. We went right from Odyssey directly into Arthur, but they're all connected. The first chapter was a little flashback.
Yes.
But then starting in chapter 2, we go right back to Hera and Ra and Thor and the fight with Yorm, but Arthur and Merlin are there, and we continue the story right where we picked up.
And
Pick up right where we left off.
More about the story. This story is going to tie in, I guess, with all the new releases for season 6 too. Correct? Like of all the new gods that are going to be coming out, the story should be following along with that too, and they're actually going to have a direct line into this.
That's right. So if you're just returning to Smite, we announced, of course, our 100th character, which is Merlin.
Right.
And then we also announced that we're going to have Yorm coming out afterwards. So you'll be playing
Jormungandr, the Norse world serpent.
I think that's probably the only game you can actually play the world serpent in. He's
You're gonna
featured
get
in
to
other
be
games.
him.
Yeah, you get to be him and play him.
I don't know how you're going to make
the
that work.
play
but I'm
kit
like,
is
He is
crazy.
looking awesome. I'm so excited.
Yeah, Clumsy has designed a crazy, amazing, interesting kit. I'm excited about that.
It's very unique.
And after Yorm, we announced we'll have Horus and Set.
Right.
Finally, the fan favorites, and then
You've
more
been
to
asking,
come.
we will deliver.
Well,
There's a video out there that teases them out, but we're not going to say who.
we can't say who.
But
Be careful.
yeah.
I
almost did, but
I'm
I'm
about to
not.
show that video now. Like,
You show the video? You have it
I've got
teed
a
up?
video here that's supposed to be shown.
Actually, didn't even know that.
right
Okay,
about
see
now,
it.
you see it. It's on my list.
Okay. Is
now
Jumping
the
ahead of
time?
me again, Richard.
Do
all
I
the
get to
time.
keep talking or are we done?
No, because guess what? Good news, everybody. The people in the room have unmuted their microphones, hopefully, so we can go to Finch. But before that, here's a little look at that video that Richard was just talking about to do with gods and the lineup of season 6.
The Smite team is excited to give you a glimpse of all of the gods for Season 6. First, Arthurian legend comes alive in Smite, with the great King Arthur and the Master Wizard Merlin arriving as the 99th and 100th gods. The next god, Jormungand, the World Dragon, will signify the end of Ragnarok. For Smite's birthday, we will finally create the highly requested fan favorites, Horus and Set. Then, we'll introduce a new pantheon, featuring a god that will rise well above the heights of Mount Olympus. We will also dive down into the darkest depths of the underworld. The season will culminate with a being so powerful that its arrival will threaten the existence of all gods. Join us for all of this and more in Smite Season 6. The battleground of the gods awaits.
All right, a chance to talk about the changes coming to the Assault map one more time. Maybe there's some force out there that doesn't want you all to know, but I'm going to make sure we learn about these cool new changes. I am again joined here by Austin. I got Fishman with me here as well. First thing, it's getting a new layout is my understanding. I mean, what's going on? Talk to us a little bit about some of these Assault changes.
Yeah, so we're testing some slight layout changes to the map. So it'll play a little differently than people are used to. We feel like it's gonna be a fun way to kind of freshen up that map a little bit to make it play a little bit more dynamically than it currently does.
Yeah, it's still going to have the classic Assault feel, but with maybe a twist or two.
Okay, looking forward to it because this is a popular mode, right? A lot
It
of
is.
people go to Assault.
It's very popular.
Conquest is sort of like our premier like competitive mode.
That's right.
You'll see a lot of people in Arena when they're first starting out, but it feels like we all kind of coalesce in Assault. So it's nice that it's getting some love, as well as some art adjustments as well. I'm being told to have a new look.
Yeah, that's right. So we're completely redoing all the art in the map. Everything from the ground up is being completely redone. It's not completed yet, but like the stuff that's in there so far is already looking really great.
Awesome.
And it's still still the Norse theme. So like we're a big fan of that theme, and we didn't want to go away from that because it's already has a cool look to it. But
Right.
just kind of updating it to be matching more like what we've done previously with like Season 5 Conquest.
Sure, and Arena, and now it's Assault's turn. So
Getting a bit of I guess like a facelift. Sort
yeah,
of.
we definitely we try to keep track of like what's been more fresh and what's been around for a while, and maybe could use some updating where our best ever would put in, and now it's Assault.
Yeah, that's an area where I think a lot of people are going to enjoy, if it gets a little bit of love. Also being told there's some new mechanics still kind of being worked on and tweaked here and there, but anything you can tell us about if there's any changes coming to how it plays?
Yeah, so we can't talk too much about go into specifics today, but
I'm gonna
we
ask
are.
you, though.
I'm sure you will. Yeah, but we are working on some new gameplay mechanics, trying some different things out. For example, it could be something like health or mana pickup that you can get on the map, or maybe even a new buff camp that's on the map, something like that. But that's still stuff that we're working on, testing different things to see what we think is the most fun.
Yeah.
Sure, nothing's 100% locked in yet, but we're talking about stuff that not only has not been seen in Assault before, but hasn't been seen in Smite elsewhere. So
Okay. Any chance that there's maybe little new paths or anything like that, or are we going to have the same sort of line we're used to, or
Mostly the same line,
Okay.
but a slightly different shape to it, especially
Okay.
in the center where the most contested area is.
Yeah.
So pretty similar for the general shape of the map, but there will be some new kind of places for people to navigate a little bit.
Okay, cool. Maybe like some ways to try and shake it up. 'Cause I know now people can't kind of like chill under the towers a little bit. So maybe some stuff to draw them out a little bit.
Sure,
more.
certainly some incentives to maybe be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more at risk, and maybe speed up gameplay a bit.
Okay. Well, what were some of the, I guess, the goals of some of these changes? Was it just to give it a new look? How different did you want the field to be, or is it just like freshened up, I guess, or what was some of the like goals you went into when you were working on it?
Yeah, I think the main thing was, just for the visual update, we wanted to have it match, like we said, kind of what we've been doing with other map updates. So up to that same sort of quality and visual style that we've been going for. But as far as gameplay, it's really just we wanted to freshen it up.
Right.
But we didn't want to change, like Fishman was saying, we didn't want to change it too much. We still wanted to feel like Assault. Because that's people who play Assault want to play Assault.
Yeah.
So
diehard Assault.
it's not going to be some vast new experience because that's not what we're going for.
Right.
Sure.
It should
Keep
be
the
a
core
fun,
experience.
a fun new twist.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm very excited for some of these changes. I hope y'all can stay hard at work. I'm sure that
Yeah.
you're both busy. We still have plenty more, though, coming for you in the update show. So make sure you stick here. We got a little bit more coming.
Welcome back yet again then to the casual set, and today, first of all, we're going to go over next some Project Olympus stuff for Season 6, but we'll have a little look back first of all at what happened in Season 5, right? Of all the good that we had from Season 5 of Project Olympus. Richard and you guys were, were big parts of that.
Yeah. So Project Olympus, if you're new to SMITE or just returning, Project Olympus is our initiative where we're focusing on quality of life features and fixes into the game. So we did a lot of cool things last year. We are always looking for continuous improvement, and the big ones are, we had the custom auto buy builds. We adjusted new player adjustments to make it feel better to level up. All the things right here.
Completely redid the level up rewards and make them
That's
more
right.
entertaining and more interesting. There was very little bit of things you would get for leveling up.
I'm most excited about full VGS on console.
That was a big
That
one.
was a thing
Yeah.
that we were
That
super
was a
hyped about, and we
huge
worked
win.
hard to get that together.
Do you feel-
Commendation system.
Do you feel we achieved as much as we wanted to with the initial
I mean,
Project Olympus?
never. So to work in the games industry, you got to be super passionate about the games itself.
Sure.
To work on SMITE, you're gonna have to be very passionate about the game. So every time we don't get a feature in that we want, of course it feels bad, man. But we're looking at the positive.
Yeah, of course,
Looking at
of
all the
course.
cool things we created, and super excited
So
how
many
much we
big things
accomplished.
this year. Looking at
Yeah.
this list, it's crazy. Between commendation, full VGS on console minimap editor, matchmaking changes, timed queue changes, big matchmaking changes.
I think
Huge
my
changes.
favorite is
Jungle practice,
Yeah.
complete new jungle
Yeah,
practice.
Exactly. My
Yeah.
favorite. I've been seeing a couple streamers playing that VGS minigame.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that got added to the
Yeah.
Learn tab.
It actually teaches you as you do it, 'cause I
Exactly.
didn't know some of those VGS commands, so learning them is really
the
really good.
lists that when you go to any chest, you can see the full list of items in the chest in the game. We even have Zhonghui skin on
Yeah,
here.
oh yeah, most definitely.
That was huge. That was
Hypest.
huge.
Is he Project Olympus tier? Is that where he's at?
But now we've done that in Season 5, then I guess we got to look at Season 6 and the community's going to want more, right? They're going to
That's right.
expect
Well, we want
more.
more too. We
Yeah.
want more too. So it's about, I think last year in many ways was the best season for SMITE. We saw a lot of quality of life improvements. We also saw a lot of new players come in.
That fantastic
So,
new conquest map.
fantastic new conquest map. I think this year, with all the new features, with SMITE on Switch, with cross-play, cross-progression, which many players, including myself back in the day, have been asking for.
Oh,
I think there's a
people
lot
have been
of
asking for the
amazing
ability
things.
to share
Yeah.
their skins across their accounts for so,
Most
so long.
definitely.
We're so
Ever
happy.
since we started
Finally
releasing on
doing
new
that.
platforms, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it took, it looks like it's just a matter of months, but it really has been an
It's-
over a year long
Yeah.
project for us, from a business partner relationship down to a
technologically
technical
difficult.
to implementation in the UI. All of this has been a behemoth of a project.
And going to Season 6, we're going to continue that. I mean, we've already mentioned roll queue once today, but talk about it again, that is a big part of Project Olympus. Making that function correctly and feel good is
That's
very
right.
important to us.
Right. So this is our big Project Olympus feature for 6.1. There's going to be more, but this is the first one.
Yeah.
Roll queue. And this is something that the SMITE community has been wanting for a very long time. And we're very happy to finally be implementing this. You'll have a settings option accessible from the queue screen or from settings where before you can play Conquest,
Yeah.
you will need to choose 2 roles, your primary roles, or a fill option, where you don't mind which one you want to play. then you'll queue, and normal and ranked conquest will make the match, and then try to give everybody in that 10 people. We'll try to give them their most preferred roles.
That's right. And I just want to clarify, since I've worked on a few role queues,
Yeah, go for it.
our goal is for players to get their roles in a higher frequency.
Okay.
And our secondary goal is also for less debate. You know, we want it to be a defined role, so you spend less time debating about roles in the queue.
Arguing with each other.
That's right.
The
And
whole who
more
can type
time-
fastest system
Exactly.
is not very...
It's a silly system.
Yeah.
But I also want to clarify that we don't want to increase the time you're waiting to get into a match.
Right.
Our goal is to not adjust that.
Gotcha.
And also, you're not going to get your role every time. We want to be honest about that. It depends on the role you're queuing for. So if you queue up for support, you're going to have a higher frequency of getting your role, of course, because there's less support players out there.
Oh,
you know, on the flip side of things, if you're looking for mid, you're going to get your roles far less in support.
Right, and that's why you select more options of preferred roles.
Right.
In this
That's
role
right.
queue, right?
So, you know, this is going to be our first iteration of it, and we'll be very open to making adjustments and improvements as we go forward. But those are our key goals, and we really wanted to be careful about the way we implemented this to not cause any crazy matchmaking things like mages having to wait an hour for a match or something crazy like that, which you can see happen in some games. So we specifically did implement this in a way that would not affect those other factors.
Yeah, I've got a couple of notes on here. If there are any tie scenarios with a player with higher MMR in ranked or the player who has gotten their preferred role recently will get priority.
Right, so we'll have an extra system where if you say you pick mage and hunter for your main roles, or mid and ADC, mid and carry, and you don't get it, and you don't get it, and you don't get it, we'll have a system
formula.
that keeps track of that.
That's right.
So then it'll keep increasing your chances each time. And if we're in the ranked lobby and me and Richard have both selected mage and ADC as our preferred roles, whoever has the higher skill rating will get their role.
And that's all in back end stuff, so you're not going to
all be
see
invisible,
that. Yeah, but
This role queue thing will be in 6.1.
It'll be working in 6.1. Wow. In 6.1 for normal conquest and ranked conquest.
That's great. So as long as you play Conquest, you can just call your role and hopefully...
You will have to
You'll know
pick
your
this.
role when you get in the lobby straight away.
When you get into lobby, you will automatically see that UI element on your God pick border that says your role, and you will be playing that role.
that's right.
Really cool. Okay.
That's right.
We also have a lot of other updates. Our customer service and system and report system, we're going to be looking into that for people. Obviously, now we have a new metric to judge people on, which is playing your role or not. People who try to break the rules and stuff like that afterwards. So we're going to be doubling down on all of that and increasing our amount of customer support, people paying attention to that, make sure people use the system.
Well, I'm going to stay on the subject a little bit of the stuff to do with role queues because ranked is part of that. The ranked updates, AJ. Obviously, new season.
Yep.
What's happening with ranked then? Are we getting resets? What kind of resets? How's the rank system going to be working this year?
So we're changing a few things, and we did go into detail about this in a previous post.
Yeah.
And some of that has changed since that previous post.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll have to clarify some things. But it will be a soft reset for 6.1. Soft resets reset you back to unranked.
Right.
And they set your MMR, your skill level, to a somewhat standardized level near where you're at. We don't completely reset it. A lot of people do ask for hard resets, but that essentially destroys all matchmaking. That literally removes the entire history of everybody, and there is no matchmaking until it sorts itself out again. So we don't want to do the hard.
And that takes a lot of time and a lot
We're
of
doing
games.
a soft reset, correct.
Right.
And that's intentional, and there's a lot of advantages to it. And we're going to be doing shorter splits this year. Splits will be about 2 months,
Oh, okay.
and then you'll get another reset. And what we're going to do for that is we're going to have changes to the reward structure and changes to the TP structure. So you're going to be earning TP a lot faster than previously because you have a lot shorter splits.
Right.
And we're going to have different rewards for each split you can earn as we did before, but they're going to be a little different. You'll be able to earn them for playing a number of matches. We're still going to have the end of year rewards. So earning a skin at 75 games and 150 for the frame. So for this year, it was Gladiator Guan Yu and the Gladiator frame that you can earn. Next year, there will be something like that as well. And
And that's through the whole season, right? They
for the
can-
whole season,
If they play 150 games for the whole season,
you get the skin, right?
Okay,
But there will
cool.
also be split-based rewards.
Right.
And faster splits, shorter splits, and more resets.
ours is going to be more stuff inside of the original games. Okay.
Right, and you'll be able to earn some gems even from those split rewards. So now a couple other things we really want to do, but we're going to have to take a little bit more time on.
Okay.
Because of all the cross-play, cross-progression stuff, it took up a little bit more time than we hoped. It's been a challenge. So what we're doing is delaying. One thing we really wanted to show players' MMR. We wanted to let people see their ranked MMR in the game. It's something people have been it's a big debate for years and years. Lots of game designers out there probably yelling at the TV screen. Do not do that, AJ. Game designers generally don't like showing them
We
MMR,
debated
but we
for hours
know
about it.
what
Yeah.
our player base wants to see.
We're trying to satisfy what the player
So
base
that's gonna-
wants, even though it's a lose-lose situation, right?
Yeah, it's tough. But this is going to let people at least have more visibility over what's happening.
That's right.
It'll have some negative effects as well, but it's something we really want to stay true to the players and give them.
Really, the negative effects is perception.
Right.
So I
No
think
one
if
tends
everyone
to and agree with their
just
skill
don't let the
assessments.
number control you.
Right,
Don't let the number
exactly.
control you. You know, like,
Yeah.
and that's a big thing. But no,
Right.
so MMR is going to be when in a couple of months.
We're looking, at a couple of months, hopefully just a few, around patch 6.5, so 4 patches itch. That's what we're shooting for.
Okay.
That's going to be where we're going to let showing it. So we're going to do one split, right? A little bit more on the old system. The first reset, we should be having showing MMR and leaderboards based off MMR. So that means when you get to the very highest ranks, you won't just be able to grind games in the middle of the night against poor matches to earn more points. You'll actually need to play tough matches where your MMR continues to go up to actually be at the top of the leaderboard.
I mean, you beat better people who've got higher MMR, you should go up, right? But
Also,
if
our
you beat people who are weaker than you shouldn't go up that much more.
Also, our changes to the qualifying system. That's something we're going to continue working on in the future.
So that's all the ranked stuff for us.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
ranked is we're got some big
So stages
changes
of
for
ranked, soft reset starting 6.1, and then your MMR, we're looking at adding that as well for being viewable. It's still not going to change anything really, apart from you can just see a number.
Just going to let you see it.
Like everything's still going to stay the same next season, just soft reset, and we go from there. And every couple of months, you're going to be able to start over again in ranked and earn rewards based off where you finish.
Right.
It's pretty cool. Project Olympus roadmap. Richard, I'm coming to you for this.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. So
there's a lot of stuff this year. That
coming, doing things
on
a
the
little
way.
different this year. We're going to show you what we're intending to do for the rest of the year. And here's our Season 6 Project Olympus roadmap. The order, the dates are to be determined. There's what we want to do, but there's a lot of partner stuff, a lot of technical limitations we have to work through. So we'll see.
Can
What
you
we're
break
looking
down
at.
any of those in detail for us?
Yeah. So like recommended items is our way of hopefully, and I've seen this a lot on social, making it easier for players to make builds and also giving better suggestions to them. Make it API driven. That is a amazing thing that not many games have ever done. So it'd be great for us if we can do it API driven. So it's, hey, here's the knowledge from the game given to every player. Good for onboarding and good for new players, even good for existing players who are looking to play new gods. Streamer mode, no, that's super exciting. Streamer mode is something where we're gonna find. Actually, AJ, this is your idea. Do you want to jump into
it'll
it?
be a checkbox that streamers will be able to enable to that nobody's names are shown ever, anywhere.
That's cool.
Because even though you can show just the god names over people and you don't have to press tab and stuff like that, players can still find ways to ruin your games.
Will that work on Spectator as well? Out of interest.
Good question.
It just means because I can make meme videos of casting really bad players and not embarrass the player with their name on screen.
We'll look into that. Thank you.
I'd appreciate that because I know you're like, guess this player.
This
it was weakened.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It depends on.
You just want to hide players who killed you. That's what
the
I'm
main
hearing.
thing is to avoid people even getting the dodge match message is something that certain trolls could be happy about. So we're not going to be able to show you that. You won't be able if you use that mode.
And then new screens for clan updates as well. I saw was on there. too.
Yeah, so Clans update is still in work in progress.
Okay.
A lot of work in progress stuff. So nothing to talk about just yet.
Showing
But,
patch
Another
notes
big
in
thing.
client?
Yeah, we've been getting players ask about that for a very long time. You know, we always want to make it as easy as possible
Gotta be
for
good.
players to find information. So why not, put the patch notes in the game?
That'd be great.
That way players can read over the changes while they're in queue.
part of the challenge right now is we're going to have to, we're waiting for that cross-play, cross-progression to get in, mainly cross-play. So once we patch together, that'll be an easier and better thing to do.
It'll have a big effect on clans. So we're going to
That's
wait.
right.
That we're holding off on clan update until we make sure the whole fusion project goes smoothly and we
Order
have
of
cross-play
importance as
clans
well,
working
right?
together.
Order of importance too of like what's more important. Yeah, I can see that. So that's stuff to do with the roadmap, and then the last thing we've got on here, Isaiah, this has been a big thing in the community already right now. The Olympians
Definitely
are coming.
Yes, they're coming. Voting is live right now. If you guys are not familiar with the Olympians program, this is a new initiative we're launching in Season 6 to where we're going to have a player-elected council of delegates. They're going to be 9 delegates with, they're going to be specific positions for representation across all platforms for SMITE. And we're creating just a focus group to kind of get really into the nitty gritty, to create a group to give us continuous feedback on, balance, Project Olympus updates. We really want that next level of players to kind of help us be that bridge between us and the community and get that really, really deep level of focus and feedback into that group.
Now, obviously, being somebody in the community that's an influencer or is a well-known community face is very helpful for them to get votes. But at the same time, it's not really just about that. It's about what they want to bring, right? What they're going to try and do to make the game better. So maybe look at the people on that list that are giving good suggestions of what they'll want to focus on.
Definitely.
I say better support for Box.
Whenever you guys are going to smitegame.com/Olympians to vote, each and every one of those delegates they put their heart into their bio.
Sure.
There's so much passion for SMITE in each and every one of those participants. So take some time to read the bios.
Definitely.
You may not know everybody on the list, but there's definitely a lot to be accounted for in those biographies.
I personally prefer someone that says, hey, I really want to work on getting console things better because of this, and this, rather than someone goes, hey, I've been around the community for 5 years and played the game.
No, specifics, right?
Yeah, specifics is more
and I
important.
love and social. A lot of people are doing that. I see someone campaigning for themselves, and then the comments are like, "What specifically do you want to do? How do you want to make this better?" And I think that's a good way of voting for someone.
Yeah,
have that conversation right now because they are going to be your representative. They are going to be advocating for what you want. So might as well ask them what you want.
No, not an easy task.
And they're also going to get more insight. As much as possible, we're going to try to get them in so they can see behind the scenes what we work on.
The whole process.
Because a lot of things that people suggest, we want to, but it takes time.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other minutia we have to work with too.
There is one thing that I know of through the years is where people will suggest something thinking it's not necessarily been suggested before when it has, but at the time and the date that it was first suggested, we couldn't do it because the tech wasn't there, the time wasn't there, or there was other
partner
external
limitations.
factors.
There's other things that are part of the issue.
Always was.
It's a very exciting system. We're really happy that we're going to be hearing from Conquest and non-Conquest players. We're going to be hearing from players from all platforms.
Yep,
we
that's right.
specifically designed the system to make sure we got that diversity.
Yeah.
That's going to be really
We wanted to
important.
make sure that this group would represent all players from all demographics across all platforms. That way we can get all the feedback in for us.
Well, go vote then, boys.
We're going to cross-play on multiple platforms. AJ knows what I'm going to say. If one of the representatives want to let us get the 4th platform to cross-play, I'll vote for you.
Yeah.
I'll vote for you. You got my vote.
Help us out there.
You
If
got a
I'll
connection.
request too.
We would love that. We would love that. It's been
You got a phone call to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'll vote for you.
One more point here just for voting before we end things off. Voting is live until January 25th. So you guys make sure you got some time to read through all those bios. Make sure you make an educated decision on who you want to represent you. You've got until the 25th to cast your votes, and we're super excited to announce the group, the Olympians, will be in early February when we announce the council.
The Olympians. I get to go and complain about all of them whenever something bad happens now. You guys get away with it. I'm never complaining about Hi-Rez. I'm just like, oh yeah, the Olympians, it's their fault.
No,
right? No.
I'm just
I
going to keep
don't
blaming you
know
into
how
man.
you're imagining this system.
Yeah.
But
I'm blaming the Olympians for everything, but that happens.
they just blame me anyway. We already
Yeah,
know
that's
that.
true.
That's
That's
how
true.
it goes. It's okay.
But this is the end of patch 1
Part
of
one.
4, technically, considering we're going to
This week,
This
the
week we're
first
doing
of 3.
First of 3, but there is
Come
going
back
to be a
tomorrow
trilogy.
for balance. We got a lot of cool stuff.
Yes, tomorrow is balance. And when we say balance, items, gods, and conquest map specific changes
definitely.
too. There's a lot of stuff to go over. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. But not only to tune in for that tomorrow, but at midday tomorrow at noon, we're also going to be doing a very big esports weekly, which is a full breakdown of every SPL team and all the players that are going to be involved. So make sure you tune into that. And then straight after the esports weekly, we'll have the deep down nitty gritty of the Patch Note show too. From everyone here though at Hi-Rez Studios, thank you so much for tuning in, and hope you got some good updates. We'll see you all tomorrow.